It's been a long 16 months for athletes and fans since the 12th of March 2020, when all sports in Ontario came to a crashing halt due to COVID-19. While we did have some reprieve in many parts of Ontario where young athletes were able to participate in limited return to play, where an NHL hub city and an eventual Canadian League and NHL and AHL occurred in Toronto and Ottawa, where we got our high performance and Olympic athletes up and ready so that they can compete in Tokyo, last Friday marked the beginning of a return to play for minor sports and recreation as we moved into Step 1 across the province. Presently, the roadmap to reopen allows for outdoor drills and dryland training with no contact or games in Step 1. There is a relief for many athletes, coaches, fans, and parents like myself who want to see the physical and mental well-being of our children through active participation in sport return. Today, I'm announcing an accelerated path for return to play for 18 leagues in 6 different sports, as well as international and single sports for professional and elite amateur athletes. Prior to the most recent lockdown, the work we were doing with the CFL, OHL, CEBL, and others helped create a framework for return to play, setting out minimum requirements for organizers and operators. These leagues include the American Hockey League, the Canadian Elite Basketball League, the Canadian Football League, the Canadian Premier League, Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer, the National Basketball Association, National Hockey League, the National Lacrosse League, National Women's Hockey League, the NBA G League, Professional Women's Players Events, and USL League One. The following elite amateur sports leagues that would also be eligible through this framework are the Canadian Hockey League, Elite Basketball League of Ontario, League One Ontario, the Ontario Scholastic Basketball Association, Ontario Junior A Lacrosse League, Ontario Women's Field Hockey Lacrosse, and Provincial Women's Hockey Team. We'd also allow for international sports events exemptions that would permit events like the National Bank Tennis Open to return. The key features of this framework would require local support from their Chief Medical Officer of Health, travel and quarantine for 7 days, cohorting, COVID testing and screening, distancing and masking and other individual controls, dedicated facilities and venues, cleansing and disinfecting, travel and transportation protocols, accommodations on food and beverage protocols, which would adhere to the Return Ontario Act regulations, limited staffing and volunteering, adherence to broadcast rules under the ROA, practice training and competition protocols, and education, awareness, and compliance and enforcement efforts. At the present, we are still working with the Chief Medical Officer of Health on what fans and stands will look like for both sports and entertainment. Today's announcement is a positive step forward and builds on the work we have done with the NHL. That means there is a path forward for the Toronto Blue Jays, the Toronto Raptors to come back home, if the federal government permits, allows for our Red Blacks, the Ticats, the Argos, and our OHL teams and others, given our present health conditions. As sports minister, I've been waiting for this good news for the past 16 months. As a fan, I'm elated, and as a hockey mom and trainer, I'm relieved. So, on June the 12th, 2021, today is the day Ontario athletes and sports fans can finally say out loud, let's play ball.